Well, nobody says they have to be big to save a blank, and this one has done exactly that, and has actually saved a run of blanks, so he's very, very welcome on a cold February afternoon. Slip this one back and talk to you about the Corus baiting pole that I've got with me today that's helped me land this little one. Thank you, mister. But before we get into this baiting pole, please make sure you're subscribed to us and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads. There's no denying that baiting poles have become more and more popular over the last couple of years. Various different anglers in the media have been using them to great success. I've been using them in my own fishing, again for great success, and loads of other people. So there's no denying that baiting poles will catch you more fish, maybe help you fish areas that you maybe struggled to before with overhanging trees, or just those hard to reach areas or really fine spots that casting may take you several attempts. By which point, if you finally do cast it into that little weed, a little hole in the weed or whatever, you may have spooked the fish out of the area, whereas a baiting pole will give you that much more accuracy. Not quite as taboo as bait boats for some reason, but it's a similar sort of principle and concept in that you're lowering your rigs into positions where you maybe struggle to get cast in, or you just want to be much more stealthy. And coming into the winter months, where like I'm fishing today, it is very cold. The fish aren't moving around as much, and if you can put things in your favour to mean that they're not as wary of you, they're not getting spooked off as much, you can get your rig into position with next to no disturbance whatsoever, then I think it's a no-brainer if it's going to catch you more fish. But there are a lot of different baiting poles on the market, and here is one of the options for you today from Corus. Now this, to my right, is an 18-metre baiting pole. There's also a 12-metre baiting pole they've got available. This is the 18-metre pack. Now what's included in this pack is pretty much everything you see here at the moment, excluding these 4 baiting poles, which are ever so slightly different as they are extensions. But the main part is 18 metres, and it's from section 1 and 2. Now this section is telescopic, so as you can see, it scoots out like that, and it's just a friction fit. So it's not like it's got any kind of specific orientation these poles need to go together. That's just friction fit, and that's the very first piece. If I go right to the very end, you'll see that you've got the baiting spoon itself. Now this can hold up to 900 grams in weight, so that's going to be your rig and bait, but odds are you're not really going to be putting a kilo's bit of bait out in one spoon, or at least I don't think many people would. But that shows you the load capacity that this has, and you've got a massive float here which stops it from sinking. So it's not like the head alone will keep itself afloat, it needs this to keep itself going. And I've used this today and it goes out really, really smoothly. So because of the shape of it, I guess it's shaped a bit like a boat to an extent, so it doesn't sort of splash over, it goes through the water really nicely and accurately. So that's the first thing I spotted from this going out. It wasn't splashing and it just went straight and true, which is obviously something you want with a baiting spoon. You don't want it to be splashing either, because if you're putting stuff in there that's PVA based, like a solid bag like I am today, or little mesh bags, anything that splashes over there is going to start dissolving it, and you may not know. So it's good to know that it doesn't splash. And at the very top here, you'll also see there's a little recess which will take glow sticks. And now it comes supplied with 3 in this kit, so I'm not sure where you get replacements after that, but they may offer them. But little glow sticks that goes in there, or I'm sure you can find isotopes that might fit in this as well. Just gives you that little element of visual aspect, especially when it comes into the evening or using it at night. But of course, using it at night, you're probably going to use a head torch. And a bit of advice I found with using baiting poles in the past is putting a little bit of reflective tape right on the end of your spoon. That is massively handy when using a baiting spoon at night, or maybe on the back of the float if you're using this one. So that's the head end, that just screws into place. The little float here has a tiny little hole which you push the thread through, and that keeps it nice and snug. It's not going to move on this position. There's no way it's sliding down the pole when it's in use. So that's locked into position, and a little drawstring there to hold it onto the pole as well. So slide that back up here, recess that back down, and then we move on to the rest of the sections. Now it's all numbered as well, so that's 1 and 2, and then you'll see 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 12, and that just makes it really easy for you to fit them together. So there's no issues with when you come together thinking, oh, I've got the wrong section, why won't this fit? Once you've laid these out to your right as you're putting your pole out, you'll be able to just grab the next one, slot it in, grab the next one, slot it in. So that's really nice and easy. Again, these are just push fit. So if I use these 2 as an example, this is 3 and 4, push fit, and it's nice and snug. I can barely twist that unless I put some force into it. So for the amount you're pushing that out and just tipping a baiting spoon, that's nice and snug. There's no way that's spinning and you doing it this end and it's not moving the other end because it's not tight enough. It will go out nice and snug. And if you have a look ever so closely, some of them you can spot more than others. There's a little taper, so it sort of flares ever so slightly on the receiving end of each pole, so that the neck section slots in nice and snug on each of them. Again, as you can see, I've pushed it in quite hard with a bit of a twist, but a bit of a twist and a pull comes out. So it's as snug as you want to make it. You can put it on quite lightly and then pull it off quite easily. But if you're really putting it out quite a lot of distance and you want to make sure nothing's going to slip, push and twist, and that's not going anywhere. You have to use a bit more force. So it's quite nice. It's friction fit. It means it can go in any orientation. As I said, there's no other little clips or buckles it needs to line up with. So that makes it nice and quick to use. Now, as I said, there's an 18-metre version and a 12-metre version, but you can also get extension poles which fit with either. If you've got the 12-metre version, these extension poles will go at the very end of the pole, so you just keep adding them on at the end. Whereas with the 18-metre version I've got with me today, the extension sections go between section 10 and 11, and that is these sections here. These are 1.5 meters in length, so you can buy as many of these as you like, and it states on their website this has been tested to over 30 meters. I think with me today I've got the 18 set and then 4 of these 1.5 meter sections, so that brings me to 24 meters. Really easy to control at that distance. Baiting poles are something you do kind of get used to. You work out how to put them out with a crosswind. You'll push it into the crosswind and let it come round. You can also use your rod as well to fine tune in the last bit. As long as you don't pull too hard and pull your rig out, you can sort of tease the spoon head around and put it into the position you exactly want to. So you can fish these up to greater distances, but the whole idea of baiting poles is mainly for fishing and overhanging trees, those little hard to reach spots that you can't quite cast to. So that's going to be a lot of margin work, or up to lilies and things like that. So it's ideal for smaller venues, snaggy venues and things like that. And one of the nicest things about all of this is this looks like quite a lot set up on the bank, but when it packs down, it all packs down into number 12. You've got these end caps, which I think I've actually left further down in my swim, but they all pack down into this section. So I'm not sure exactly how tall that is, just under 6 foot, so 5 and a bit foot, and everything packs into here. You put end cap on there, end cap on there, and all the sections, excluding the extension poles, of course, because they're an optional extra to purchase. They all fit inside that one tube. And then if you've bought this 18-metre kit, which is currently on sale for Corus, through Corus, it comes with this neoprene case as well. So it does come with more of a fabric case. Each of the extension poles come in a fabric case as well, again with end caps, which I've got here. So they come with these 2 end caps to protect the carbon fibre on each end, and that comes into this little bag just to keep them nicely stored. But the main set, if you buy this one, comes with this neoprene bag, which is a nice soft touch and a bit more heavy duty, so that's going to last a very long time as well. Zipped both ends, so you can get the poles out from either side, and that's a nice little feature. The material itself is actually high grade carbon fibre. Now, because of this material that's used, it's actually a lot stiffer than some other baiting poles on the market, so it doesn't snake so much, if that makes sense, on the water. Rather than it bending and curving, it goes pretty much as straight as you're pushing it. So if you want to try and maneuver it around, you pull left on the bank, it's going to start moving left, and vice versa. And I showed that earlier in the margin shots you can see with the drone. I wanted to pull it in more to the bank, so I pulled it left and it moved left. It didn't snake or bend or curve or anything, so that's really handy as well. And at the point of filming, which is mid-February, this 18-metre baiting pole from Corus is available for $129.95, and that includes, where have I put it? The neoprene case, which is normally worth $19.95 as well. And if you want to get the additional sections, the 1.5 metre sections, they come in at $34.95, so they can be bought as and when. So if you bought the kit and then thought, I just need to reach a little bit more, you can keep buying those sections to make you reach a little bit further. So that's everything you need to know about the Corus baiting pole, whether you want the 18-metre version, 12-metre version, or if you've already got it and you want to get some extension poles, you can do so. So please head over to their website and take a look at them. If you like the look of them, then maybe pick one up and read a bit more information on them and all the other items they've got on their website as well. That's everything from me for now. I'm going to sit back and relax as the sun starts to set behind me and hope that one of those rods goes off with the last hour of my session. Just watching, and I'll see you again soon.